Today's subject is very important. Don't hurt anybody. We think evil of others. We scheme for bring about anything wrong to the others. This is one thing. Thoughts are very potent. When you think evil of anybody else, that reacts there, like a telegraphy wave, you see. You may not be telling anybody anything, you think of other, the radiation is there. Once Akbar the Great, the Emperor of India, was told by his minister, Birbal, he said, when thoughts are very potent, we should be very careful about them. He said, how do you say thoughts are? It's all right, I'll give you a concrete example. Let us go outside. They both of them went outside, and one man coming, say, at a distance about 2 furlongs. So Birbal, the minister, told the king, look here, just think something about him in your mind. And when he comes near to you, you might ask him what thought has crossed his mind. Then, only by looking and thinking. He thought in the mind where he should be shot. That's only thought wave. When that man approached him, then king asked him, well, you have pardon for anything that has struck your mind. You just tell me when you saw my face, what did it strike in your mind? He said, Emperor, excuse me, I thought I should beat you with my fist and break your head. So the thoughts are very potent like that. If you think evil of others, naturally radiates there. The other man reacts. That's one thing. Then, through your words, you tell, calling names to others. You are fool, you are such a top line like that. So if somebody tells you something what you should do, then stand down. Reacting in the same way, what is the result? That will flare up. More trouble. One will call you once, the other will call you twice, and goes on, that results in fight. This is by words. So very root is the thought. Man speaks out of the abundance of one's heart. You see, whatever is lying there, those words, those things take the form of words. So when that grows still further fiercer than fighting. So don't hurt the feelings of others in thoughts, words, and deeds. Even, you see, very religious places also, they say, a dozen of men are working there. There may be some difference, they're thinking evil of others and they're speaking to others, very such and such, such and such. The result is, thoughts radiate, that reaction of others' mind. You follow my point? So heart is the throne of God. Body is the temple of God. If you fight the throne, only the God has to be enthroned, then who will sit there? So for that, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Purity mainly lies in not thinking evil of others. Word, thought, and deed. There are other factors too, but this is the main factor. About more than 50%. When I used to sit, even in ashrams or everywhere, if one man is thinking about the other, is telling somebody else, that goes around like a man who has got that nature. That is just like a plague infection, you see. The rat infected by plague goes around and spreads that very infection everywhere. So there is, you see, very strict condition. Don't be the unpaid apprentices of God, CID of God. If there's any, I think, bad thing in somebody else, you might reserve it to yourself and go and privately tell him to improve. Suppose he does not improve, then go to his boss. Leave it to him. Don't take the law in your own hand. If you think good of others, you radiate good. You see, you purify your mind, you purify others' mind. So by thinking evil of others, we spoil our own temples of God. First, defile. Outward we are all right, quite clean, but our hearts are defiled by the evil thoughts of thinking evil of others. Okay? We are all parts of the same machinery. If even one part is out of order, all machinery won't go on. So that is why wanted reformers, not of others, but of themselves. Charity begins at home. You see, we should reform ourselves first. An example is better than teacher. So this is today's subject. Don't think evil of others in word, deed, and mind. Always, if you think of anybody else, good even, then take it why. Why do you want to improve others? Because they are your brothers and sisters in God. See? God is that in every heart. Bodies are the temple of God. So first we defile our temples, you see. Then we defile others. So instead we should think, peace be unto all the world over, under thy will, O God. Okay? This is what Guru Nanak gave out in the prayer. Peace be unto all the world over, let all world be happy. How can they be happy if you defile everybody? The foremost thing is not to think evil of others, speak evil of others, and hear evil. If you come to know something, then it is for you to just keep it to your own self, to try to privately tell other party. So we should not we become reformers of each other. We should reform ourselves first. If you got sympathy for others, we should go around and tell him privately, my dear. Then the other party will care to listen to. But if, oh, you are like that, who is going to? Even if blind man is there, you say, oh, blind man, you take it to heart. You simply say, well, dear friend, did you lose sight? Purpose is same, you see, that there are ways and ways to express things. So speaking, you might say, is an art. The same words will carry very loving effect, you see, peaceful effect. The same words will flare up fire. So this is what we have to we have to guard against that thing. So we should not think evil of others at heart, even in mind, word and deed. And for this, you see, God is not difficult to meet, but it is difficult to be a man. You see? Man is unique. God is seeking after some man who is a man. So when you are ready, yes, God will come and give you a commission too. I went to London, I remember. On my first tour, there are 2 children, you see, about 7, 8 years, or 9 years, 6. I asked them, what do you want? They have given initiation for hearing. We want to become master. So they said, all right, you have been put on the way, improve, go on progress on the way, you might be selected as a master. You see? God is after finding out some man who is man, so that his work will go on. It is not for us to claim that thing, but it is for God to select who is fit for the job. We are encouraging our only propaganda, doing propaganda for having that position. It is not in man's hand. It is a commission from God. So I told him, well, you may become a master, that's all right. You have been put on the way, go on with it, you might be selected as a master. So each one has to become after come to perfection. You see, it is no sin. Every saint has its past and everything in future. So these things start where? From our own self. First of all, not to think of evil. If there is evil in your mind, out of the abundance of thought a man speaks, that radiates even by thought, by word, and it comes to extreme then. The teaching of the Master, the first and foremost thing is that. Just let us now examine our own self, how we stand, where we stand. If all these things are there, how can we aspire to become Master of Sara? The purity of mind is the first thing. Let it not be defined by the evil thoughts. तो ये पढ़ने के लिए चीजें नहीं समझना है, नोट करो जीवन को बस. If you hurt anybody, all right, pray for forgiveness. All right, dear friend, I have hurt you, but please excuse that to forgive and forget. Generally, we don't forget. We simply go, all right, no, we don't mind, but that poison goes on there. That affects sooner or later. So when anybody hurt your feelings, words, minds, and deeds, forgive. Forgiveness is the only sweet water that will wash away all dirt. Justice won't do it. Mind that. If you want justice, then justice works. React. Forgiveness only washes away all dirt. Forgive and forget. This is the way to spirituality. तो आप भाइयों ने सुन लिया आज का सबक कि दिल में किसी का बुरा चित्र कोई करता करने दो तुम भी. Once it so happened, some man went to Lord Buddha. He began to call names like anything. He went on like anything. He took 1, 2, 3 hours. It got dark in the night. When he saw it's darkness, then he took like to go away. Then Lord Buddha went, dear friend, just tell me one thing. I said, what? If anybody brings some present for somebody, and if he does not accept it, with whom that is left? He said, who brings that present that you take? Well, dear friend, the present you have brought, I don't accept it. So these are the things to consider here. After. And lived up to. If you live up to your whole form, your thought, your eyes, your bearing, your radiation will change. It is no matter of acting or posing. No, it is a matter of living. Master says, those who live up to what I say, I am their servant. They are my bosses. I will serve them to the best we can. Naturally, any son who will be just obedient to his father and do all things what he wants to do, naturally he is most dear to the father, not mere by outward assent or acting or posing, you see, because the mind radiates. And the master knows the mind, not the outward thing. So इसलिए भाई बात समझ रहे हो सब भाई दिल को सवाए दूसरी का बोला बुरा हो या धड़े बंदी हो दोनों एक ही मंदिर एक ही धड़ा दूसरे का बुरा हो और क्या मन करके भी ना हो फिर देखो बॉडी आलाइश दूर हो जाएगी थोड़ा बैठो ज्यादा बैठना करे दूसरा लब ला दे फिर तो एक चीज जो पाने कितना आदमी पदर करता तो ये है चीजें जिसको समझना है समझ आ गई ये तो आ ही गई ना एवरीबॉडी कैन अंडरस्टैंड बट वी हैव टू लिव अप टू इट दैट्स द मेन थिंग mere understanding won't do even such things are not explained I tell you talks etc these are heart to heart talks that you are being given the what say tips secret of success keep your mind on the right